I have been teaching a few of my friends how to knit recently and thought I'd do a very quick, easy tutorial for any beginners we have out here. This is just some extra yarn my daughter had downstairs. It's super fat and chunky, and I got some really big needles as well. And what I typically do with a new friend starting is I just wrap my yarn around the needle and give it a little twist and wrap it around my thumb and just cast on the easiest way possible, where you just stick the needle through the loop and pull it onto the needle. I do not cast on tight, and I really encourage people that I teach to knit to do this as a de-stressor. And if they are casting on tight, knitting tight, it actually does the opposite. So I'm just going to cast on 2, 4, 6, 8 stitches for this demonstration. My friend last night, she wanted a wide scarf, so we cast it on 20 stitches. So that's how simple casting on is. And then to knit, you just take your needle in your right hand and you come up through the stitch you have on your needle, and then you wrap the yarn around the needle and you pull it through, and then you pull the original needle off the left needle, and now it's onto the right needle. So you come under with your right needle. I'm doing this very slow motion. Wrap it around, wrap your yarn around, and as you're pulling it through, you see the needle coming out on the right needle, you just pull it off of your left. And you just continue to repeat this. This is your basic knit stitch. Even though I tried not to make them tight, they're always a little tight on the first row. So just keep knitting. And it's really not that difficult to do. It's a very easy stitch. Everybody needs to know the basic of knitting to be able to make anything. And you can do a lot of fun things just with knitting. And I've got a couple things I can show you very quickly too. So what I do with my beginners typically is I will just have them finish their row, straighten it out, and then we're gonna turn it around and do the same exact thing on the other side. Just knit, basic knit stitch. Same exact thing. And there's all kinds of tutorials that probably can give you even clearer instruction than I have done. But it's just a very repetitive stitch. And when you do the same knit stitch on both sides, creating a scarf or anything else, it's called garter stitch. So that's all I do with a brand new person, is teach them how to do a very basic knit stitch on both sides. Oops. Wrap your yarn around, and when you bring it through, you see the new stitch is on the right needle. You're just taking the old stitch right off the left needle. So it's very, very basic, easy, and honestly, what I love about knitting is it is so calming. So you just keep repeating that and repeating it until you get your desired length on your scarf. But let me show you two other things. I had yarn in my basement, in my stash, that had like a fun, it's got all these little loops in the yarn. And so I did this garter stitch. I think that probably was, I don't know, 15 stitches. And I just went back and forth knitting on both sides, creating this beautiful child's scarf. And it's cozy and soft and beautiful just by doing a simple garter stitch. So I wanted to show you that. Then I had a fancier yarn. This yarn has ruffle on it. And all I did was that simple garter stitch on both sides, and it created this beautiful ruffle scarf that my mother, I've made some of these for my mom, and she absolutely loves them. So you can see, just by doing a simple knit stitch both sides, you can create some beautiful things.